Hi everyone, it's so good to be able to be speaking to you today. I don't know if you've seen any of those Facebook posts where people order something online and it's not quite as they expect it to be. I've seen some where people think they're ordering a table and they think they've got a really good deal on it, but when it gets there it's actually not a table, it's kind of the right size to go in a doll's house. I had a bit of a surprise the other day. I'm staying with my mum and dad at the moment and I was looking through their cupboards for some nice spaghetti hoops to put on my toast, but it wasn't quite what I was expected. You know, when I got it out of the cupboard I kind of thought to myself, this doesn't feel quite right. It's not quite as heavy as it should be. And then I noticed that the bottom's actually plastic, and if you can open it, and inside there was some money. So I got a bit of a shock there. It definitely wasn't what I expected. I think Palm Sunday was a bit like that for the Jews. They were waiting for their king to come. They thought he was going to take over the Roman Empire and show everyone who God's chosen people really were. But then he comes in, not riding on a chariot, but on a donkey. I mean, that must have been a bit confusing. But it was okay, they were all there shouting Hosanna for him and were excited because their king was here, ready to show the world just who he was and just who God's people were. I bet they weren't expecting that 5 days later he would die. They weren't expecting that his best friends would betray him, and they definitely weren't expecting that within a week he would have risen again. So they knew that he was coming to change the world, and he did that, but just not quite in the way they're expecting. He did that through his death and through his resurrection. He set them free, and he set the whole world free. You know, life isn't quite how we expected it to be at the moment, is it? At the start of the year, there's no way that we would have thought that we'd be confined to our homes, that we wouldn't even be allowed to go to church, or just do simple things like meet our friends for a cup of coffee. But this is what's happened, and like God's people at the start of the week, we don't really know what's going to happen. But the good thing is, because we're Christians, we know the very end of the story. We know that God gets the victory. We just don't exactly know how that's going to happen. So today, let's remember that God has got the victory and he does do amazing things, even though life isn't quite how we expect it to be at the moment.